to this week's Household Huddle. As we begin, let's take a minute to review just what a Household Huddle is. Household Huddle is a time when you get together with whoever is in your household, whether it be the household in your church or the household in your home, and you take a little time to spend together. Now, there's a simple model to follow when you're doing a household huddle, and it has 4 steps. You breathe, you share, you reflect, and you thank. So first, we breathe. So let's take a deep breath. Because taking a deep breath helps us to make a little space between the busyness in our lives and all the time that we spend together. Second, we share. Then we share our highs and our lows, and we share our joys and our concerns. And this is when we not only get a chance to share, but we also get a chance to listen to one another. It's also during the sharing time that we sometimes share the story from the week. Third, we reflect. During reflect, we take some time to reflect on the story. Maybe thinking about what the story says to us or how it connects in our lives. Sometimes we also reflect by doing some kind of an activity together with our household huddle. And fourth, we thank. Sometimes we thank someone in our household huddle for something that they've done, and sometimes we thank God for something we've experienced in our lives. So, as you can see, Household Huddle is a model that helps us to build relationships. It opens communication and caring, and because everyone gets involved, it lets everyone know that they matter. And the best of all is household huddles are flexible. You can hold a household huddle just about anywhere. Now that household huddles are online, I want you to feel free to pause the video if you want to ask questions or if you want to talk to your household huddle about what you've just heard. Well, friends, this week's story comes from the book of Jeremiah. Okay, now, do you think the book of Jeremiah is in the Old Testament or in the New Testament? If you guessed the Old Testament, you're right. Okay, so one day God told Jeremiah to go to the potter's house. Now, a potter is someone who makes pots and bowls and all sorts of things out of clay. When Jeremiah got to the potter's house, he watched the potter working. The potter took a big lump of clay and tossed it onto his potter's wheel. The clay had lots of lumps and bumps on it. The potter dipped his hands in water, and then he held his hands over the clay as the wheel started to spin. He pushed on one side and then the other, working to balance the clay as it spun. The lump soon became smooth, and the potter was able to begin shaping and molding the clay. You see, the potter had a plan for that piece of clay. When he looked at that lump that he started with, he imagined a beautiful pot. And he knew just what he would need to do to create it. While Jeremiah was watching, that old piece of clay was transformed into a beautiful creation. God then said to Jeremiah, "Can I not do with you just as this potter has done? Just like the clay in the potter's hand, so are you in my hand." Okay, my friends, here are a few things to talk about with your huddle. Do you think you'd rather be the potter or the clay? What do you think was the hardest part about being the potter? And what's the hardest part about being the clay? Who do you think the potter might be in the story? And who was the clay? Great job, everybody. Okay, if you're looking for an activity to do with your household huddle, why don't you be like the potter and create something new out of a lump of clay? Perhaps you have some Play-Doh at home and maybe some googly eyes. What would you create if you were the potter? Well, my friends, as always, we end our household huddles with a thank you. I'd like to thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed our household huddle this week. And remember, household huddles can happen anytime, anywhere, so be creative. But no matter where you are or what you're doing, remember that you are amazing. And don't ever forget that God loves you just the way you are, and so do I. If you'd like to share a picture of your creation to be part of next week's Household Huddle video, you can email it to Pastor Kelly at oldtownucc.org.